Okay, so first go and get the tutorial, and as I said, I'm not going to teach it exactly like he teaches it. One, because we don't have one of the tools, and also because I think he makes it pretty complicated. We're going to do this easy way. You're going to go and you want to open a new Illustrator document, and we're going to name it last name, first name, avatar. And instead of 8 by 10, do 8 by 8. And then to start out on this, it starts out as a circle. And hold on, let me scoot this over. So it starts out with a circle. So first draw a big circle. And for stroke weight, 6 points. So pretty heavy stroke. So be sure your stroke box is on top. Choose 6. And now here's where we're doing it differently than he says. He has us starting with a rectangle and then converting the corners. We're not going to do that. We're going to use the rounded rectangle. Instead of drawing, just go ahead and click. And for the face, you're going to set the width to 1.5, the height to 2, and the radius to 1 inch. And say OK. And then you can adjust, the width thinner or shorter, depending on what you think for your face. So the eye on this is a little black circle. So you can go ahead and draw an eye. And we're not going to have a stroke, so none for stroke, but we are going to have a fill of black. And then you can option drag and you can copy so you have 2 eyes. And you can shift click and grab them both. Set them about how far you think you want them apart. And then use your align tool and align them. And then to get them, we want them to be grouped. So right click and group. And then go ahead and grab the face too and click the face a second time to make it a key object so it doesn't move. And then align it to vertical center. So it's this one, second from the right on the top row in the align panel. That puts the eyes right in the center of the oval for the face, which, we often think our eyes are higher up on our heads, but they aren't. They're actually, if you divide the face in half, they're right at middle, because we have big brains, so we have a lot of brain up above. From there now, we're going to make a little eyebrow. And we're going to do it by starting with a circle. And then we're going to delete some of the points. So with the white arrow, grab the bottom point, hit the delete key on your keyboard, and grab the left side, hit delete. And that gives us a little line fragment. And we're going to end up using this for eyebrows, nose, and mouth in a variety of sizes and angles. So we're going to put a rounded corner on it. So in the stroke panel here, if you don't see all of this stuff, it means you're not showing your options. So you want to go up here and say show options. And then we're going to hit the little corner and make it thicker. It'll be probably, you know, biggest for the mouth. But you'll go ahead and you'll make an eyebrow, and then you could go ahead and rotate that as needed. And then copy it and maybe reflect it. So I'm doing transform, reflect, and I'm reflecting vertically. Oops. So for the mouth, go ahead and rotate it, well, depending on whether you want to smile or frown, and make it as big as you want it to be. Oops. And the nose is a little version, so I'm going to grab an eyebrow again and copy. And that's going to be either direction, I suppose, whatever you like the look of. Now to align everything, you can grab the head. Well, actually, I would set up your eyebrows first, right? So if you want to align them so they're at the same height, you want to grab them both and align. Now, if it's kind of jumping on you and you're having trouble, you know, adjusting things, you might want to go and turn off under View, turn off Snap to Grid or Snap to Point, and turn off your Smart Guides. You could always go and turn them back on once you get everything. So I'm gonna group my two eyebrows once I have them so that I like them. And I'm going to group my two eyes, and then I can make my face nice and even by grabbing everything, shift clicking, and then I'm going to align to horizontal center, and then I'm going to group all that stuff. Oops. Let's undo that. I guess I need to grab the mouth too, and the face, and then group. So the neck on this is another, he's using the square, and he's using that tool that lets the corners switch. We're not going to do that. We are just going to use rounded rectangle again, and this time our dimensions are going to be 0.75 for width, 1 inch for height, or wait, I think I'm backwards. That's, you know what, that's wrong. It's 2 for height, sorry. And 1 for corner radius. So I was backwards. So you grab your face, right click and arrange it to front, and then put the neck under it. And adjust it so it's a length you want. We made it longer than it needed to be because otherwise it kind of has a wider angle here. So that works pretty well. So the shoulders, are going to be basically a big circle that we're gonna use the intersect command and keep the intersect. So let's go ahead and just copy our circle. So we have 2. And then we can go ahead and position the head and neck on your new circle. We won't actually use, we'll end up putting them back, but let's just get everything centered. So you want to draw a big circle now too. It's going to be part of the body. And the shoulders. And then we're going to position the face and the neck above it. Like that. And then let's center align everything. So it's nice and straight. And you can kind of determine how wide you want your shoulders to look and how high you want your little drawing to be. And now we just want the 2 circles, so nothing else. And we're going to use Pathfinder intersect. So top row, second from the right, like that. And now we can group all of this and put it back. So we still have our circle. So for the hair, we're all going to be doing different kinds of hair, right? And I'm going to show a few different kinds, and then you guys can figure out what you want to do. But, you know, there's ways to do like bangs and parts. There's ways to do long hair. There's ways to do curly hair. And I'll show you a few different options. The ears are basically just half a circle, pretty much. So for my kind of hair, which is shorter and kind of longer, but a lot of you guys that have pretty short hair could probably use this method too. I'm going to go and I'm going to make another rounded rectangle just like the face. So it's going to be 1.5, 2, and 1. And then I'm going to make it big enough to be the top of the head and like basically the hair, right? And depending on how you want that to look, you can copy that and then shrink one of the shapes down a little and use it to cut into the other one. So say you just wanted hair that was like just the top piece, you could do that by using Pathfinder and Align and then using minus front. And then, you know, I would have pretty short hair that I could set on there. Or if I wanted longer hair, like for my kind of hair, I would probably want to do something more like this. So I'm going to cut into this. And actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and use that and adjust it so that it's going to cut. And then I'm going to use minus front again. So now I've made longer hair. If I wanted a part, I would want to kind of cut this in half somehow. So I could use either an oval if I wanted a curved part, like a more curved side part, or I could use a rectangle. So what I would do is take that oval or rectangle and position it about, I think I'll make it go this direction. And then I'm just going to use it to divide. So I'll grab them both and hit divide. Then I'll ungroup it. And now I've got two pieces. And I won't use, this piece is nothing. If you want to paint your hair on, there's a few ways to do that. The blob brush is a fun one. And with that one, if you double click, you'll get a little panel that lets you adjust size. And you can also adjust if the brush is round or at an angle. And what it does for you is it lets you paint and it puts shape down. So for this, actually I think I want it a little bigger. So I could go in and I could choose a color, maybe do kind of a brown tone, brownish tone, just for the heck of it. And I could start, if it's curly hair, oops, hold on, I got somehow into grayscale. I switch. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to just paint. And this really doesn't want to let me go use brown. And so that's another way, if you've got more wavy-ish, curly-ish kinds of hair. Or the way he does it, he does some hair using circles, and then remember, just like that penguin, you unite those circles back together. So you could go and make hair kind of like that. And then you'll just merge them all together using Unite Pathfinder. So that's another way. So I'd have to grab all of these now. And then I'm using Pathfinder Unite. Now it's all one shape. Now another thing to know about is, with the white arrow, you can move points around too. So if you want to adjust, like I had my sort of straight hair, I can move those points down, or I could make it a little more wavy if I wanted. So I could definitely adjust. Oops. Get that on there. With my white arrow. Okay, so for really short hair, one way is to use the blob brush and just adjust your brush as you need to, the size of it. So to do, areas maybe on the side of the head, you can kind of use a littler brush. And then as you go to do up higher where there's more hair, make the brush a bit bigger. Oops, that's way too big. Hold on. And then you can kind of add to it. And then if it ends up being a little too thick, use the eraser and just go in and erase off the parts that you don't like. And it's only going to erase, and just like the blob brush, you can adjust the size of the eraser and the angle. So it's only going to erase what I have selected. But I can go in there and I can make a unique look if I need a side part, I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Remember too, you can use the white arrows, the white arrow to move the points. So if it's close to what you want but not quite, just drag. And yeah. So once you have all the pieces, then you can, you can get creative with this, and you can add collars and you can save colors and you reuse them. And this can be a fun one too if you want to do a pattern of some sort, because we haven't really used the patterns, but those are in the swatch library. So if I go, say I wanted to put a pattern on my clothes, so I'm going to grab with the white arrow, and then I'm going to go to the library and I'm going to look at patterns. And there's basic graphics, textures, there's decorative, and I'll just explore what the options are. So here's all different clothing I could have, kind of crazy. And there's of course more, right? There's lots of different patterns. I'm going to look at textures. No, that's actually, I think I'll look at decorative legacy. So you don't have to do this, but you can if you want to. And then you could put a pattern or a color in the background as well. And you can set your skin tone, whatever tone you want. So I'm using the white arrow. And to get like brownish tones, you want to go into the orange area. And then you just kind of move around from there and pick what tone you think would be good. And whatever stroke size you want is fine. I mean, you don't have to necessarily do exactly 6 for everything. You can kind of decide on your own what you want. Another tool that can be kind of handy is right. It's right 2 down from the blob brush. There's warp if you hold down, and warp will let you kind of nudge things based on how you pull. So you can take something that's kind of more straight looking, and you can soften it a bit. So I'm just using warp to kind of make a little more curves occur. And I would probably make glasses, maybe using the rounded rectangle. The last thing to do if you want to do drop shadows, which this is up to you, but if you grab the hair and just the face. So I'm using the white arrow because my face is grouped. And I'm going to grab both hair. And then to add the drop shadow, it's Effect, Stylize. Oh, sorry, this one up here. Stylize, Drop Shadow. And I would do for the X and Y offset 0.01. And just leave the rest the same. And what that does is it kind of gives a little dimension to the face. Now he does that in a different way. He does a very complicated way of making a shadow. I think this easy way is totally fine. I think my neck's a little long. I should probably shorten it a little bit. So I'm just going to grab everything and move my head down just a little. Like so.